So this story I'm about to tell is actually a true life story. Remember I said no lies here, so I can't lie to you. Anyway, so this story that I'm telling is actually something that's happened, is still happening. I know that a lot of pharmacists and medical doctors will be able to relate to this. People in the health profession will be able to relate to this. And even you who's watching, maybe it's happened to you before or someone close to you. So did you know that medicines can pass through almost all, if not all, the openings in your body? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Not just your mouth, not just your nose, even the holes that when you wear clothes, you're not supposed to see them again. Yeah, those ones. Those ones, yeah, those ones. Medicines can pass through them. So this is about a woman who was given a medicine and she put it in the wrong opening. And this should have been disastrous or really bad for her and the people involved, but thankfully she was safe. So if you want to find out what I'm talking about, what hole she put this medicine in that was the wrong place, where she should have actually put it in, then you should relax and keep watching this video to see what I'm really on about. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome. I'm glad that you could find the time to watch this video today. My name is Dr. Chikeshun Wohaku. I'm a pharmacist. I give health tips, I give medication advice, I teach you on how to use your medications properly and safely so that you can get the best out of it. And I answer your medication related questions. Anything medicine related, that is what this channel is about. I know that there's been a long absence and I'm sorry about that. It shouldn't happen again. So here's the story. So there was this woman who had some symptoms that were very bothersome and she couldn't tolerate them. So she went to a doctor as she should have to complain. So she went and she told him what was wrong with her, the symptoms she was experiencing, and he diagnosed her of having a vaginal infection or a yeast infection. And he prescribed the medicines that she should buy, and so she went to the pharmacy to buy them. And when she got to the pharmacy, she was given the medicine and she was told to use it every night before she goes to bed. That's all she was told when she got to the pharmacy. I don't want to believe that when she went to the pharmacy, you might think I'm biased, but I don't want to believe that it was a pharmacist that she met. And I'll say this because I feel like a pharmacist should have done a better job of explaining how this medicine should have been used, of explaining what the medicine was and the right way or the appropriate way to take the medicine. Yeah, when she got home that night, she opened up the medicine, popped one in her mouth, and went to bed. Only had to wake up in the morning and she was feeling very queasy, very nauseous. She wasn't feeling okay at all, but she felt maybe it's normal. I mean, which drug doesn't have a side effect? So she didn't do anything about it. She just started to wait it out and continue taking her drug the way she was supposed to take it. The next night comes, she puts another one in her mouth again and goes to bed. She woke up the following morning and she felt even worse than she felt the previous day. And then she knew that this wasn't normal. So she decided to go back to the pharmacy that she got the medicine from. So this time around, she met a pharmacist and she complained and told them how she was feeling. And the person asked her, "How did you take the medicine? Like you feel like this? Like how? Tell me how you have been taking it." And so she said before she goes to bed that she just swallows one and drinks it with water. And honestly, that was a very embarrassing moment for the pharmacist and for the pharmacy because that medicine had no business going into the woman's mouth. It was a medicine that was supposed to treat her vaginal infection, and so it should have been inserted into her vagina. It had no business going into her mouth. No business at all. You see, this woman had every reason to take legal steps against the pharmacy because something much worse could have happened to her. But I guess because she was okay, she didn't. And so the pharmacist had to apologize and even replace the doses of the medicine that she took wrongly and then counseled her on how to take it properly. This is a very embarrassing story that could have been much worse and it could have been avoided too. So the reason I'm telling you the story or sharing the story with you is so that it doesn't happen to you or anybody close to you. And so when you see medicines like this that are supposed to be inserted into other body cavities, it's easy for you to identify them so you don't make the mistake of ever swallowing them or even putting them in the wrong body cavity. Yeah, or putting them in the wrong body cavity. So medicines that are designed to be inserted into our body cavities like this are called suppositories. So suppositories are dosage forms, just like tablets or syrups, that are supposed to be inserted into body cavities like the rectum, that is through your butt, into the vagina, into the urethra. We also have some that could be inserted into the nose or the ears. And when they are inserted here, they're supposed to melt at your body temperature and release the drug in them directly into your bloodstream. So there are various shapes of suppositories, but the most common shape is the torpedo shape or the bullet shape. I have some here that I can show. So yeah, if you look closely, you can see that it's shaped like a bullet or like a torpedo. And this shape is usually common with the suppositories that are supposed to be inserted through your butt or into your rectum. There are other shapes of suppositories. We have the oval shape, the conical shapes, the teardrop shapes, the round ones also. The ones that are usually inserted into the vagina are usually round or they are oval in shape. And yeah, suppositories that are supposed to be put into the vagina are also called pessaries. But if you don't call them pessaries, then you call them vaginal suppositories. Aside suppositories and pessaries, do we have actual tablets, like actual the way you have paracetamol tablets here, the actual tablets like that too that can also be inserted into the vagina. I just wanted to get that out of the way. Now I know that some people, including myself, I don't think I'll be comfortable inserting something into my butt, or I shouldn't be talking about that on camera. But anyway, yeah, I know that it can be quite uncomfortable inserting things into your body cavities like this, especially if you're not the one inserting it. I mean, imagine being so sick and you get to the hospital and the nurse has to flip you over to insert a medicine into your butt. That would be very uncomfortable. But the thing is, suppositories are actually good because they are helpful in situations maybe when the person is unconscious, if the person is vomiting, if maybe a baby or an elderly person who has difficulty swallowing, if the medicine is the kind of medicine that could be irritating to your stomach, or maybe if it's taken through your mouth, a significant amount of it might not be absorbed properly. So yeah, such drugs are usually designed as suppositories for insertion into body cavities. Sometimes they also help to give an effect at the place where they are inserted. Like you see, for the vaginal infections now, we have those ones that are put into the vagina to help fight off the infection. And even for people who have hemorrhoids too, sometimes they also use suppositories to soothe the hemorrhoids or to treat it. Okay, so now I'll be sharing from some helpful tips for using suppositories. And the first one is that before you insert a suppository into your body, you should wash your hands thoroughly with soap and water, because you don't want to introduce germs into your body in the name of putting a medication into your body. The next one is that if you are going to insert the suppository into your butt or your rectum, you should try to empty your stomach first. Like try to use the toilet, try to poop first, because suppositories might trigger you to want to use the toilet. So you want to do that before, so you don't put it in and then in a few minutes you're bringing it right back out. That would just defeat the whole purpose of using the suppository in the first place. So yeah, try to empty your stomach first before you use the suppository. Except maybe you're constipated and the reason for using the suppository is to relieve your constipation. The second or the third tip is that if you're, yeah, so still on rectal suppositories, while inserting it for adults, you should just push it in 1 inch, and then for children and infants, half an inch is fine. The next tip is that never in the name of lubrication should you use petroleum jelly, that's Vaseline, to try to lubricate the suppository before you put it in your butt. And this is because the petroleum jelly or Vaseline can affect the way the suppository melts. It can delay the melting of the suppository, and you don't want that. You want it to go into your body, melt as quickly as possible, and give you the relief that you desire. So if you're going to need any lubrication, you should use a water-based lubricant like KY jelly, or maybe you can even dip it in water first before you insert it. And then again, suppositories will melt if they're exposed to high temperatures. So you don't want to keep it in a hot place or under this, or where it's exposed to sunlight. So it should be stored in the refrigerator, not frozen, but it should be stored in the refrigerator so that it doesn't melt. And if you ever want to use one and you notice that it's too soft, you can just put it in the refrigerator for a few minutes till it gets solid before you insert it wherever you are supposed to insert it. Then yeah, after inserting your suppository, you should wait for about 15 to 20 minutes for it to fully dissolve so that you don't feel uncomfortable when you're moving around with it. And also, once you're done with it, you should wash your hands again thoroughly so that you don't carry something from somewhere and put it where it's not supposed to go. Yeah, then for the ladies, if it's a vaginal suppository that you're using, most of them come with applicators so that you don't have to use your hands to insert it. So you put the vaginal tablet or the suppository or pessary at the open end of the applicator. Then you lie with your back flat, and then your knees should be drawn up to your chest. I'll just take a position that is comfortable for you and will allow you insert it easily. Then you gently insert the applicator into the vagina as comfortably and as far as it will go. Then you use the plunger to push in the suppository or the pessary or the tablet. Then after it releases it, you draw out the plunger again, remove the applicator too, and then wash both of them with lukewarm water and soap and allow it to dry. But if it's disposable, then you should trash it. Don't use it again. But if you're not going to use an applicator, just the same way you just the same things I have said for the rectal suppositories, you should also make sure you wash your hands first. Then you push in the suppository as far as and as comfortably as it will go. Then you should also lie down a bit to allow it to dissolve in your body. And then vaginal suppositories can get messy. So it might be advisable to wear a pad after you use it so you don't soil yourself. But you should not use a tampon because tampon could absorb the drug. So yeah, you shouldn't use a tampon. So finally, please and please, whenever you go to your pharmacy to buy medicine or you're given a medicine, you should ask questions. Ask the pharmacist questions. We went to school for you. So is what we know. We're supposed to tell you how to use the medicine. So yes, you should ask questions so that we can answer you. If now I know that you can recognize suppositories or a pessary when you see one or if you're ever given one. So don't ever allow someone to tell you just give you the drug and tell you insert it before you go to bed. Insert it. No. Ask them the whats, ask them the hows, ask them the whys, ask the whens, ask us rather. Yeah, ask the pharmacist, ask everything that you need to know. Don't allow anybody to give you half information, because that part that has been left out might be the important information. So make sure you ask all the questions when you're there right in front of them and with the medicine in your hand. Ask everything so that you can be clear. If they tell you to insert it, you should ask where, because you also don't want to insert it in the wrong place. You don't want to put a rectal suppository into your vagina or a vaginal suppository into your butt. You don't want to do that. Thank you for watching this far. Thank you for sticking with me this long. I hope you learned something. I hope now you'll be able to identify the drugs that we just talked about. So don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to comment down below. Ask me your questions. Please click on the notification bell so that you always get notified when I post new videos, and also subscribe. Share the video with other people. I mean, it's not for you alone. Share. All right, until next time. Bye.